All right, so today I have in the latest from Mitch Mason. A little later this year, they're going to be launching their new watch, the Maelstrom, by way of a Kickstarter campaign. And on top of the regular run of watches, they've also collaborated with the Facebook group Microbrand Watches for a limited run version of the watch. And that is the watches I have in today. Big thanks to Adam, the founder of Microbrand Watches, as well as Ben, the owner of Mitch Mason, for lending these in. It's really appreciated. So let's get straight to it and take a look at the watches. Now, I have two of three possible versions of the watch here. They plan to eventually narrow it down to one color, and I believe they're going to be putting it to a vote in the Facebook group. So I have the blue on the left and the red, kind of a burgundy-ish version on the right. The third is a black version, which is out to another watch channel at the moment. For me, though, my vote would have to be for this red. I think that is just a gorgeous color, although both watches look really good. One cool thing with these is Mitch Mason decided to donate 10% of each sale of the MBW version to a charity of Adam's choice. Adam is a fellow Canadian, which is also cool, but he volunteers at Kids Kicking Cancer Canada, and that is where the donations will go. They're a great cause, so link to their site and where you can go to donate will be below. So, a couple differences between the regular run models and the Facebook group ones. First is the Microbrand Watches logo. It makes an appearance three times on the watch. One is here at the 9 o'clock, where you can see this is actually a sandwich style dial. On the non-Facebook group watches, there will be just the number 9 there. The second is on the signed screw down crown, and lastly, the case back. They've really done a great job on the case back with a deep pressing. Under the hood here is the 24 jewel Miyota 9015 movement with a power reserve of approximately 42 hours and beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour. We'll switch over to the red here for a minute, and I think the only other major difference between this and the regular models is the internal bezel. The standard models come with a dive bezel, and these have the bezel for your second time zone. The crowns both are screw-down crowns, and the bezel's got a nice feel to it. Sometimes internal bezels like this have a loose, almost floppy feel to them. It's easy to turn, but there's a certain amount of resistance that gives it a more precise feel. The dial on both of these models have a beautiful sunburst finish with white markers on the blue and the faux patina, which I think works great on the red. When it comes to the handset, they nailed it. I don't know if you'd call the hour hand a cathedral hand or not, but it kind of has that look. It comes to the very tip of the hour markers, and the minute and second hands reach right to the edge of the internal bezel. They're just the right size and length. Another detail you don't often see on watches at this price point is the color matched date wheel, and bonus points for the 6 o'clock placement too. The lume on the watch is solid. The blue is using BGW9. I'm not sure on the red which lume formula they're using, but it's actually a little brighter than the blue. The markers on the dial aren't quite as bright as the hands and bezel, but these are prototypes, so maybe that gets beefed up on the production models. As is, it's still very good lume, though. The case is brushed, but has that polished bevel along either edge to break up the brushwork. We've got drilled lugs for easier strap changes, and on top of that, to help with strap changes, the bracelet does have quick release spring bars. Good looking bracelet too, with the H-links, kind of flat H-links. There is some play with it, but on wrist it feels fine, especially with how it tapers down to the clasp. I believe it tapers from 20 down to 16 millimeters. The links are screwed links. I'll just open up the clasp here, and you can see that it is a milled steel clasp. Pretty standard issue clasp, but we do have 6 micro adjusts to get that good fit. Back over to the blue model, and I'll hit you with the numbers here quickly, and we'll start with the case width, which comes in at just under 40 millimeters. I'm getting right around 39.8, 39.9 millimeters. Lug to lug is 46.9 millimeters. The lug opening is 20 millimeters, and the thickness is 12.5 millimeters, including the slightly domed sapphire crystal. The crystal is treated with an anti-reflective coating, and the water resist on the watch is 300 meters. So they've really got their bases covered with this one. It's got that size that's going to work for pretty well anyone. Solid spec sheet, and the watches look really good. I'm not sure how the pricing will be on this limited version, but on the Kickstarter campaign, early bird pricing will start at $449 USD. Full retail will end up being $599 US dollars. The Kickstarter campaign is slated to begin in October. Links to both the Microbrand Watches Facebook group as well as the Mitch Mason site will be below. Thanks again to them for getting the watches out to me. Appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.